I see nobody, nobody but you. You make it look like it's magic.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the launch party and press conference of our collaboration with Sunny Leone. Hi, my name is Chandni Sethia and I'm going to be your hostess today. On behalf of Folk Media family, I would like to extend a very, very warm welcome to each one of you. We at FMG are really excited to have all of you here with us right now. A little about Folk Media Group. Folk Media started off as one of India's first native platform that solved for scale, efficiency, and transparency, and over the last 5 years has evolved to being the fourth largest media tech entity in the country. While we began as a really small unit of 5, we grew to the size of 100 members in 3 years, and over 300 members in 5 years. From a revenue standpoint, we have grown from being a 2.5 crore top-line brand in the first year to about 100 crores in 5 years, with operations across SEA, CGG, GCC, and India. Now a little about Hortifly. Hortifly is a millennial women's guide to fashion, beauty, fitness, and relationships, unapologetic and proud. Hortifly is taking a stand on all things relevant and trending, from opinions to options. Hortifly is the place. CEO of Folk Media Group, starting off from PwC as a financial consultant, spreading out his wings to Web 18, to TIL as a content marketer, and eventually leading up to set up Folk Media. Well, that seems as quite a journey. Don't you think, guys? A round of applause. A few words, please.
That's quite an introduction. Thank you, Chandni. Yeah, and it's GCC, not CGG. Just saying. But thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone, for coming here. Thank you for the support. I think this is a very big event for us. Thank you, Sunny. Thank you, ma'am, for being a part of this. And thank you for coming on board on Hortifly. It's a very significant day for us. It's a very significant move for us. We do hope to kind of go strength to strength from here. The next 3 or 5 years, we are looking at kind of taking leadership position in the space that we're in, which is media tech. And that is the ambition for us. We would start by kind of revealing our first collaboration with Sunny, which is the video that we did. We were all on tenterhooks because we wanted to make sure that we were kind of matching up to every bit that Sunny expected from us, and I hope we've done that. I think you've seen the video. Would love to understand what your feedback on that is. So I think let's start with the video to begin with, and then we can get on to the panel discussion if that's fine with the audience. Yeah? Okay, lovely. Let's do this. Up to you for having led your life with utmost dignity and respect, ma'am. Can we please have you on the stage? Can we have a big round of applause for Sunny, please? Where am I supposed to sit? I've been told I have to look in the camera there, so I think I'm sitting. Second from the left, which is my left? Oh shit! Oh, this one. Yeah, I'm sitting here. Yeah. Okay. Lovely. The next guest is a prolific marketeer, ex-marketing director, Pepsi, Vani Gupta. Vani has had a long, rewarding career of over 20 years, starting with advertising, across a bunch of MNCs like PepsiCo, Unilever, and Reckitt Benckiser. Vani Gupta, can we please have you on the stage, ma'am? I definitely will, I promise you that. I'll make up for all the paparazzi there. Okay, the next guest in the panel is somebody from one of my favorite brands in terms of content marketing. It's Bacardi. Eshita Jaiswal. Eshita Jaiswal is the digital head for Bacardi across India and Southeast Asia and leads digital strategy, social media, content marketing for iconic brands like Bacardi, Breezer, Grey Goose, Bombay Sapphire, Devars, William Lawson's. Ma'am, can you do a barter, please? Is that possible? Eshita Jaiswal, can you please have her on the stage, guys? A big round of applause. The next and the last guest that we have is somebody from Reckitt Benckiser, Bhavna Mittal. Bhavna Mittal is the head of media, digital, and communication with a career span of more than 20 years. She's been associated with various reputed brands and campaigns. Bhavna is the regional head of media and digital for R&B. Guys, can we have a big round of applause for the panel, please? Who needs a mic? I think I have one. You have one. Wow. I have to admit I'm a bit nervous here in the company of these absolutely esteemed women here. Pardon me, I'm a nervous wreck right now. But I'm going to start by kind of opening the floor here with a very simple question that I've had in my mind. You know, when I was looking at the profiles of all four of you, the first question that hit me was that, is glass ceiling really a myth? Because look at the four of you. You've kind of shattered every notion of glass ceiling in your respective careers. Does it really exist across the industry, across professions, across careers? Because if it really did, would the four of you really be where you are today? Or is it really something that exists and we've had to kind of fight hard to battle the glass ceiling that really exists there? So, I mean, it's an open question for the floor.
Okay, let me take a stab at it. I think it definitely does exist. It's not a myth. It is very, very true. And it's not just the big understanding of what is the glass ceiling. It's also the many different small ways in which women find themselves disadvantaged or discriminated against. And I think it's a constant struggle, especially when there are very few women at the top. You know, and especially where there are very few women breaking stereotypes. And Sunny's smiling at me because she has such a powerful story of her own. But for a lot of us in the corporates, I can tell you, because there are such few women at the top, you're constantly battling stereotypes. You're constantly battling the notion that you yourself are alone. So a lot of times, actually, it's a battle with yourself, because you have to keep telling yourself that even though mine is the only voice, I must make it heard for the sake of the many women who might hopefully someday come to where I am.
Right.
Okay, I completely agree with you. In fact, the glass ceiling definitely exists. I know there are a lot more women today that are breaking through and shattering through, and sort of provide that inspiration for other younger women out there. And not just in the field of corporates, I feel across the board. Like you look at an initiative like Girls Who Code. It's a global initiative, and it was primarily done because somebody on a US campaign trail discovered that there aren't enough women in computer sciences. And coding and technology is the way of the future, as we all know with folk media and the kind of solutions you guys are doing. But that doesn't seem to be the case. And that's why a lot of initiatives now are being taken up. I fear implementation is a challenge, and that's something that needs to be large scale. And in India, the interpretation of glass ceiling is very different, right? So a glass ceiling for somebody else might be my everyday. So I work in an alcohol industry, right? But I have colleagues who are female who have to clearly take a stand to say, yes, with their in-laws, for instance, to say, yes, I can work in an alcohol industry and it's not a vice, it's a lifestyle, right? And that for me, I could take it as, okay, this is my norm. But for somebody else, it's completely different. Just a story, for instance, of a colleague of mine is transitioning from being a male to a female in the office. And just for something as small as which washroom should I use? Right? For me, that's such a normal thing. But for somebody else, that's their glass ceiling. So it's so different for each strata, each kind of person. And it definitely does exist, in India for sure. There are steps that are being taken, but I feel platforms like this are super important to build that even further.
Sure.
Okay, so just really to the point, Eshta and Vani. And I would love to hear your comments on it, Sunny, because you come from a slightly different industry than the three of us are here. But Samar, just to ask you a question, how difficult did you find us to get us three here in the first place? Because if you knew that you had to get a mix of guys and girls, it would have been far easier. But getting 3 women on top here and be like sidelined here, it would have been a bit of a difficult task.
No, I completely agree. And I'll tell you this, that I've also seen a lot of progress in the last 2 years. The number of women that I'm seeing in the management teams, and I can tell you that my company, which is Fork, is a living example of that. And I look around in the office and I find so many more women that are kind of completely shattering this notion of glass ceiling and are coming out in management positions and are kind of completely breaking any level of preconceived notions that you've had around women leadership.
But I think, that's happening in the new age companies. If you go back to slightly more traditional